Good morning, good morning. Hi, howdy, and hello. This thing says I'm live. How do you know? I am Joy, and welcome. Today is one of my first real times going live, and I don't really know how to check to see if it's working. So I kind of got to go on Faith, maybe. Faith is hard, but I'm trying it. Welcome. This is, like I said, a new thing. I'm clicking some buttons. I should probably stop because it'll make me totally distracted. And I promised myself I wouldn't say and that's one. Maybe I'll put an counter on the screen. Hey, I'm Joy. Welcome. This is my channel called Join the Joiners. I'm not real big on lives yet, but it's something that I want to embrace because in real life, I'm a talker. If you get me going, hand me a cocktail, little libations, it's hard to shut me up. I have lots of names. The long-winded lady is one of the nicer ones. One of the ones that's not on the bathroom wall. But my videos are eclectic and all over the place. And I'm trying to find some focus, a niche. And lately it's been a wide variety, which is still, this is me, how I talk, scattered all over the place. Got to get it together. Oh, I feel like AI at the moment. You think that's how AI really sounds? All scattered. When I work with ChatGPT, that's what I feel like. Let me pull it back. Hi, I'm Joy. This is my YouTube channel. This is me trying to do a live and sucking at it totally. But that's okay, I think, right? We all suck at things first. When you go back and look at my channel, I've privatized some of my very first videos, but the ones I let everybody see, the first ones really suck. And when you look through my catalog, I have things like cooking. I do lots of cooking videos. I have music. I create music in a couple of different ways, and I make music videos per se, and I make background music and copyright-free music that anybody can use. Yes, I use AI to help me do a lot of that. I also make hour-long loops of things, not only things that we enjoy, but apparently things that other people enjoy too. It's amazing. The song Like a River, that's one of my higher viewed videos. It's hard to say viewed when you're just listening to a song, I guess, but it has a lot of views and it runs for an hour, and it's just that song Like a River over and over. And I didn't even splice it together well. That's one of my first ones when I was very first starting with the music thing. And now my loops are a little bit better, a little bit easier to listen to. I also have things like thunderstorms and rain in the background and music to work by. Counter. I also have a lot of videos about crafts and crafting. Another thing that folks don't know about me is the ums. I run a lot of groups on Facebook, and I started out in a crafting group, learning to run groups, and I have expanded since then. Although a lot of my bigger groups and more focused groups are on crafts, crafting, and the wonderful people that make and sell crafts. I also have groups that help you learn to sell crafts. I'll try to remember to put a list of some of the groups in the comments or the description of the video here. If you want to come check it out and find a group, or if you want to come poke me and tell me how I'm supposed to be doing this stuff. I don't even know how to see my chat, if there is any. If anybody talks to me, I won't even know how to see it. I need a guru. No, that's not the word. I need a mentor. I need a Facebook mentor that teach me a few of these things and help me figure out what the block is going on around here. Because I don't know. If anybody's talking to me, I'm feeling sad and left out. And that's part of what I want this to be is I want to get a better connection with folks. I love stepping into other people's lives. And let me use yesterday's live with Ray Bonecrusher as an example. I love stepping into Ray's live and talking into the other people in the chat. And I just don't get enough of that. So I was hoping this might be a way for me to get a better connection with some of those folks and grow my own group. The Tulies have their warriors. Every creator has their own little following. I'm not saying I want a following per se, but maybe some YouTube friends. That would be nice. People that don't mind listening to me be eclectic and dyslexic and scattered chat. I promise I'm trying to bring it back. I even have to learn how to mute myself so I can cough, right? Another one of my videos are things that Robert and I have done, travel and family, and maybe it'd be helpful if I tell you why I even started in YouTube. Let's get that counter going, shall we? Once upon a time, I really thought that my memories were going. I've had a lot of medical issues, and I was having problems remembering even the simplest of things, like which side of the bathtub the hot water lived on and which side the cold water lived on. And that was a very scary day for me, to be very honest with you. I got a little freaked out a day that I couldn't remember. I am actually taking a moment to go share this in Facebook. I hope you'll bear with me and forgive me. I really don't like creators that spend a lot of time clicking and ticking behind the scenes, but I get why if you don't have folks to help you do it. I get why it happens. All right, I shared it to my page. See, I'm not even being brave about that. I should share it everywhere I can, right? We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll have some bravery later. I'm working up to the bravery part. All right, so going back to my memory was going. I couldn't remember simple things. I talked to the doctor. Is this early onset Alzheimer's issues, problems? It's not gonna go away in a month or two, and I'm gonna be sitting in a corner drooling and dribbling and not remember? No joy. That's not what's gonna happen. But in my research, one of the things that I found was information that said in order to stave off Alzheimer's or mental decline in your 18 that you should keep your brain active and try to learn something new and something not upping your education on something you already know. I'm trying to think of an analogy. If you're a great cook, you should not learn to cook better. Sorry, I don't. But if you're a great cook, learning to crochet if you don't know how. Training your brain to do something totally different, waking the part of your brain that it's not used to using. I get that. I've tried to do that in a couple of ways. This way, YouTube was intentional and Fortnite was not intentional. I'd never played games like Fortnite before, and it's actually huge learning, muscle memory, on down the line. In the sense of YouTube, I didn't know how to YouTube. I didn't know how to post a video. I didn't know how to share. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know about content creation. I didn't know about monetization, either on YouTube or on Facebook. I didn't know any of that, and I had to sit down and learn from scratch. And like I said, some of my initial attempts make me cringe now, and they're hard to watch. But I'd like to think I've gotten better, and some of the stuff I make now, I'm not ashamed to say, I just sit and giggle over it, and I'm pretty much to the point where I don't care if it makes anybody else laugh, it makes me laugh, and what I'm excited about is later on, I hope, uh, I hope this is all there someday for Silas to see, my other grandchildren to see, and hopefully my future granddaughter, and anybody who's listening, to know that I cared and I made these videos and there was stuff you were too young to remember, but here you go, here's a video to watch about it. And some of the stuff we've done with Silas as grandparents, is incredible, and we've gone on some trips and some journeys and some things that even little parts now I go, "Oh, I love that," and I want him to remember every minute of it. His first time going to see the snow, playing in the snow, turning the snowball. Yeah, that's all on the channel, and then Pop and I had the chance to run through, which it I'm sorry to cough. I promise I'll find that meme, but I'm going to put it out in the universe, and my mentor is coming along to teach me. I might be able to see them now, but I'm not even sure. I think I have to change it to live chat, maybe? There's nobody in here, it doesn't matter. Somebody come along and chat so I know if you're in here, and I should wake my husband up to do it, but it's his birthday, so I thought I'd let him sleep in. I didn't want him to sit over there and listen to me do this, so I figured it was better to sleep when he was sleeping. So happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday, Pop. So I started the channel to learn something new, to share my memories that I was afraid I was losing. I'm still afraid of losing them. I'm still afraid it's gonna go away. I'm getting old. The old thing is a whole part of what I do and why I do this, and the type of people that I'm gonna somewhat talk to, not listen, I'm 21 in my head, so I can still talk to young folk too, right? Um, I'm talking to old people, and a lot of my content that I create is for the folks who are aging, and I even have videos out on renting mobility scooters when you go different places. That stuff's important. You don't know, I have to ride a mobility scooter a lot of places, certainly when we're out, theme parks, walking, camping. Mobility scooter comes with, its own set of challenges. I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've never really intentionally hit anyone, let's be clear. But let's get back to what my channel has become. It's become a vlog of my life, my experiences, what I'm going through, what I wanna share with you, what I think is important, and when I started this a few years ago, well, let's just say the world is changing, and I'm changing and evolving, and my channel needs to change and evolve with it. Evolve? Evolve. Yeah, you know what I mean. I've always been the indecisive person, a jack of all trades, and I think I have a little bit of Peter Pan syndrome, and I've never grown up in some way, and I always thought I had more time to do more things. I stepped out of, my formal education because my grandmother was very sick, and I wanted to spend her last bit of time with her, and that's how I thought it was, and then, fool you, she lived 4 years, but I never stepped back into that formal education. I just kept doing different jobs, and I always felt like I had more time to pick my career. That never really happened. I never really stepped into a formal career per se, and I did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I started out, you know, high school, you get the serving jobs at Gold Star Chili, thank you very much, and then I was a telephone operator, the old cord board, actually. Um, I was a server, um, I'm trying to remember. A lit server was a big part of my life, so was a lumper. If you don't know what a lumper is, a lumper loads semi trucks. I was a 900 operator besides a regular telephone operator. I was a, um, operator for the reading service of the blind. I would sit and read the newspaper into a microphone, much like this every morning. That was sometimes interesting. I was also a professional clown for a hot minute in my life. I tried out for Ringling Brothers. Guess what? This fat bitch told me. Tried out for Ringling Brothers is way more than anybody would think. Way more than, me and thought, that's for sure. Always I've always tried to be helpful, kind person, figure out what I wanted to do. I got blessed with Robert and I were able to start our own company, Joyful Pickers, and that honestly came from one of our first date nights when we first started seeing each other, and we would spend a lot of time riding around in his hot little red Honda Del Sol. Love that car. I just keep getting it out. But riding around in that car, we rode through downtown St. Pete past the cathedral. And I'm in this car with the heat on, but the top down, and not 5, 6 feet away from me on the sidewalk is 100 or more people, just one right next to each other with their stuff in between. And you can kinda tell they're following the rules of where they're supposed to be 'cause it's like a nice little line of people, but there's 100 folks out in the darkness in the middle of the night, all sleeping on the sidewalk, and right then and there, I knew I had to do something to feel better about who I was, riding around in a little red sports car, and I was able to, with my husband's help, start this company, Joyful Pickers, and, um, an offshoot of our company would help reconnect, and we really wanted to help misplaced folks, homeless folks. I don't like the term homeless. I try not to use it, but it is what it is. But trying to help homeless folks find resources, things that they needed, and in some cases, a way to find technology. Because when you're homeless and you can't pay the cell phone bill and you don't have a real good way to get on Facebook and keep up with your friends, no way for anybody to text you and check up on you. But in running Joyful Picker, now see, I started to get teary-eyed and now I'm all snuffleupagus, and I'm sorry to sniffle you. But Joyful Pickers gave us a huge opportunity. We came up with tons of clothes and shoes, dishes, things that we ended up just giving to people that needed. It was a dream of mine to turn that into a place that would I I wanted a full facility where we could run the donation drop-offs and a little house on the side where, references could come in from homeless places that so and so is getting, their own place and being blessed, and they could come in and take whatever they need from our inventory. I still wish I could figure that out. I pray that the Lord will send me the person with the muscles and the might to be able to do that. Robert and I keep trying to do it, but it kills us. The thing is that it's such a good idea, to be very honest with you, and to pat myself on the back just once in a while. It's such a good idea that every time we do it, we get so much stuff so fast. We run out of space, we run out of time, we run out of muscle. It's hard to pull those boxes, carrying all that. I'm physically challenged. Don't tell Robert. He's 21 today, so he's not old. Uh, but helping people being able to do that when we get to go and just give this stuff away. We get to walk through downtown, or I'll never forget the Thanksgiving Robert's mom and dad were here. We looked at our Thanksgiving leftovers and said, "Wow, there's so much food here, feed some people," and we made up all these plates and went downtown. We were running around because if you don't know, it's illegal to do that, so we were breaking the law. You wanna call and report me, go ahead. But we, it was funny because they were in their vehicle with a bunch of boxes of plates. We were in our vehicle, and I took them down a one-way road the wrong way downtown St. Pete. I thought for sure we were going to, but we had such a good time, and it was such a blessing to meet so many folks, and it's always been me to help, and I'm leading to. I'm leading to stuff. They're alright. Sometimes it'll take. I also, like I said, I've always been a gamer, and one of the biggest things and things I'm most proud of in my life is I used to play a game called RuneScape, and it really started, it's a kid's game. It's 12-year-olds, and I was a grown-up playing it. I will admit my first bestie on there, Zed, my friend Dallas, they'll talk now and then. Love that. And this is what, 25 years ago? Maybe more, I can't do that in my head. When I first met Zed and he helped me on the game, really, he's just a little kid back then. I so bad wanted to find grown-ups in this game to play with, and I ended up doing that, and I ended up starting a clan, and we were the Ladies of the Red Dragon, spells out lords. Thought that was funny how that worked. We were all ladies, but our name spelled lord, and we ran around and just dominated this game, don't you know, for quite a while, and the boys were jealous. "Why won't you let us?" And we did finally. Until then, the Lord's name wasn't as funny anymore. We became the Loyal Order of the Red Dragon, and it grew, and it ebbed, and it flowed, and at one point, we had almost 500 members, and I used to be so proud just in the stupidest way, and if you don't understand this, I know this sounds stupid, but I used to lead a parade through the streets of RuneScape and be so tickled to see hundreds of grown-ups following me in their dragon armor, their swords and shields. And they were my best friends, and we talked on TeamSpeak, and like live. They learned mine. We'd have late night drunken discussions on everything the world had to offer, and, we had births, and we had deaths, and it was a real family thing, and I made real friends there, friends I still have now. I would bet money at least one of them listens to this. I'm gonna encourage Zed to listen to this so he knows he's loved. And I still love all those the lords too, trust me. Oh my goodness. Uh, and my old lady brain would let me name names at the moment, but Tony, Ruthie, Tam, Gray, Michael, uh, John, Jack, uh, friend. I love you people. I always will. I'm always going to be Lady Earls. You're always going. Yeah. And trust me, I was blessed with those people. It was a time in my life where I needed them. I needed that. I was stuck in the middle of the freaking forest with the not so great husband, and they got me through all that more than they probably know. And I've always said that people who end up playing games like that 6, 8 hours a day, there's something. and I don't want this to be taken wrong. There's something missing in their life, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. They're not always people who are stuck in divorce with a terrible husband. It might be people who haven't found their way through their education to their perfect job, and they play something like RuneScape until they get it, and RuneScape isn't needed for them anymore, but for a moment, it meets a need, and that's a good thing. And certainly groups like I'm active in now on Facebook, and my friends there, my Angela, my Thelma, my Louise, um, she's an everyday part of my life, and I love that about her. And also, um, some of those folks back 25 years ago, they're still an everyday part of my life. I still see them, they still comment, we still talk, I still celebrate with them, I still cry with them. They're still part of my life. And as it happened, sometimes all of these things collide, and that's kind of what happened to me. I was trying to, a few years ago, step into the YouTube thing. I was watching different YouTubers. Um, I started watching Jeremy Hale, What the Hales, and, um, he was, in a way, doing what I was trying to do. I wasn't doing the storage units, but I was blessed with, while he had to go buy his storage units, I had a different way to process and gain my things to go through. And I actually said to my husband, "I think I'm gonna reach out to him. They're coming to Florida, and I'm not sure what part yet, but maybe if it's close, we could connect and do something together." And my thought was I'd wait and see what part of Florida he was coming to. And then in all honesty, I saw one of his the videos where he was sitting in the storage unit, and he was being a dick, and I'm like, "Wait, I don't know that I really wanna work with somebody who's a dick like that, especially on video." You're a dick like that on video where you know everybody can see. My theory is you're a bigger dick when people can't see. So I didn't reach out, and I didn't watch as much anymore. I will admit that. But then as things happen, uh, one of the people I knew from back in the day reached out to me and said, "Hey, I know with your Joyful Pickers thing, you help people. There's this woman in Florida, maybe you could see if you could help." I said, "Sure, let me see. Who is it?" And in that, I realized that the person they were asking me to help was Sheila and her with the health situation. And that opened up a whole big old box of crap. When I initially tried to reach out to Michelle, um, Michelle is under a, and please, I'm not a legal mind. I don't understand a lot of this legal shit. I don't wanna be involved in it, but the reply that I got from someone else is, "Michelle isn't legal to, uh" I started, wasn't sure. It through I didn't know any of that was going on. So I stopped my video and watched, but in one of them, leave in a chat, found out about it. and I started to one of the What the Hell's fan groups, and now I realize that I was stupid about it. I should have waited and seen more what was going on, but because it was a support group, I believe now that I just saw a lot of supporter post about Jeremy. There wasn't a lot of negative things, but boy, when I made a post asking about how I believe what I first asked was why she wouldn't be able to talk to me, and if that was really the case, because I was trying to make sure I wasn't gonna get scammed. This was a couple hours away. If I was gonna pack up a truck and take her a full load of crap, am I getting scammed? And boy, did I get a text from the jump, and it was so confusing. I made a lot of mistakes in those first few fights, and that's what it was, fights on this page, and I guess at first they thought I was Michelle, and they just jumped on me for that. I guess they thought my post was me as Michelle trying to make it like it was somebody else thought it was okay to help Michelle. I thought it was okay to help Michelle. They hard, a couple of people in particular, and they they called me names, in my opinion. At one point, they called me shark. In my school of thought, that's crap stain in your underwear, right? That's an insult. That's disrespectful. So, at this point, I didn't know they considered that a person. So now they're saying, "That wasn't an insult. We just called you a person's name." In my theory, it's not okay to call a person short, let alone for you to turn around and think that's me and call me that. But then they called me Marla, then they called me Robin, then they called me it's a whole list, but they wouldn't believe I was actually a person who just wanted to help Michelle and didn't understand the situation. Yeah, the hate came in buck actually, as things I think work, when I when I first went and did a search for the what the hell situation, I clicked join on a couple of groups, and I started talking in the first group that accepted me. I don't even know what group that was now. It might have been boot camp, but I started the conversation in the first group, then another group accepted me, and I believe a third group accepted me. There might have been a fourth one, I don't know. But at least 2 of the groups instantly kicked me out because I was, quote, unquote, "a Michelle supporter." The one said specifically that the three-letter organizations were investigating, and I was on their team, so I was safe. It was a lot. I did have one lady that was so nice to me. She let me stay in her group, and she sorta told people to back off and give me a break. I felt like a little kid, puppy in the corner, pat, 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 but these people were vicious. Along the way, since then, because they don't like my opinions. They have called my job. It's funny, they called Joyful Pickers. I answered the phone. Um, they called CPS on how I treat my grandson. Uh, the list goes on and on, let me tell you. If you're in one of the groups, you've probably heard me complain about it. I'm turning my phone off now. I thought I did that. Let me tell her I'm live on Facebook. That's funny. So I will say that through this process, I have been really, really blessed with what I like to call the silent support because there are so many people in this, and now it's even more convoluted. It's hard to explain if you don't know this. What the hell thing? Be grateful, I think maybe, but it was a what the hell's supporters versus not what the hell supporters, and now it's even become a three-way thing where it's people who are what the hell supporters, who are not what the hell supporters, and another faction came in, the Toolies. And I was supportive of the Toolies at the beginning. I tried very hard. I will just say respectfully as a grown-up, I just don't agree with how they've handled some things. I still go there. I still try to listen. I still try to be I don't want folks to get bullied. I guess that's my big thing. And in this case, how this affects me is I do consider myself a content creator, a YouTuber. This is about someone using their YouTube, in my opinion, to bully someone else. And I'm not good at like I said, I'm not good at the legal stuff. I'm not good at what's libel, what's slander, what's just bad feelings, what you're allowed to say versus what you're not allowed to say. And I guess this is going to court to decide, is this user allowed to use his channel to bully? My answer would be no, but I'm wondering if that's what the court's gonna say. And a lot of smarter people than me say he is going to be allowed, and that's sad to me. It's sad that this lady, whether Michelle is right or wrong in her daily decisions isn't up to me. I can still be nice to her, agree with her or not. I can I can still go hang out in Tully's chat and talk to the folks who are nice to me and listen to Lisa, whether I agree with her or not. I don't have to be rude to her. I don't have to call her names. And that was one of the things that drew me to Lisa's channel in the beginning when she said it wasn't gonna be like that. And it wasn't like that for a while, I felt like. And then I mean, I can even understand why it got that way. You keep getting poked and smacked and slapped and called names and this over and over and over. After a while, you wanna smack back. You can get old and act like a grown up, and you feel like you are. Sometimes we still end up reverting back to childish names and childish things, and I can still be a friend to a person who's making poor decisions, in my opinion, and keep that to myself. It might be the right opinion, might be right no, might be the wrong word. It might be the right choice for their situation, and I don't think I'm supposed to judge them. I think I'm supposed to help, and I think I'm supposed to sometimes offer my advice, and sometimes advice isn't warranted, and other times some people say, "Oh, I never thought of it that way," and I'm glad I gave you a way to think of it different. That's one of my big things. If I don't wanna I'm my children are tired of hearing this, I know, but they've all learned to change your deal. It's no poker player saying, right? If something's not working for you, if you're not getting the cards you want, you get up, you walk around, and you change the deal. You can't change how anybody else acts. You can only change how you deal with it. It's big when you got kids too. In this situation, I can't change the bullies. I can only try to make myself stop reacting to them in a way. I can still give my opinion, but I don't have to call names. There's this one chick, we go back and forth, and I try to be respectful, and I feel like the Lord has put her in front of me to teach me some things. Yes, Lord, I'm learning patience today. Why do I watch? Why do I stay involved? Why do I moderate that group? Like I said, I'm interested from a YouTuber point of view. I'm interested from a human point of view. And if I'm real honest, part of it now has become a soap opera. And some of these folks, they make me so mad I wanna throw things. I can't watch Better Nation anymore. I some of the voices just gave me my nails on the chalkboard, and some of them are like the Mean Girls Club. It's not all girls, but the Mean Girls Club has just making fun of people, making voices, making up names over and over, laughing at people's misfortune. How many hours of that over and over and over can you do? I guess a lot. It worries me. It really does worry me that there's thousands of people sitting in a room just I don't want that to be the world my grandkids are growing up in, to be honest with you. I really don't. I've never wanted to be someone I never say I hate say I hate anything because if I hate it, I gotta fix something. There's something that needs to change. I hated beets once, and now I love them. One of the things that affects me a lot is promises I made to my mom before she died. My mom had pancreatic cancer a couple years ago, and, she died really quick, but she made me promise to talk to the tree across the street. She made me promise to start a church group. I did that, joined us on Sundays on my Church of Joy. Not totally religious because I'm not totally religious, but we embrace the Lord, what He's trying to teach us, and positive energy and, uh, community, fellowship, brotherhood, being good people. One of these things that I promised mom was I would try to do this more. My mom wanted me to podcast every morning, so she just sit and listen. And I said, "Mom, why don't we just have a phone call every morning?" And she said, "No, then I have to talk back." Yeah, that's my mom. Miss you, mom. My mom would also want me to ask, "Who are you and why are you here? And will you introduce yourself and tell me all about you so the next time I come on here, I know who I'm talking to?" I appreciate that you were here, if even for a minute. I appreciate if you'd hit a like button or share this or go talk about it in a group or I don't care, talk shit about me, why not? Everybody does. I think that's funny because in my real life, for the most part, I think there's a neighbor that don't like me. Other than that, I'm pretty likable. Unless you screw up my order at McDonald's and I come after you, I'm a pretty likable girl. I you know, Mr. and Mrs. Claus, we house, we're holidays, we're active part of our community. Yeah, but then I step into these groups and they hate me because I don't hate Michelle. Think about that for a minute. They hate me because I don't hate who they hate, because I wanna give her a chance, because I think that well, I might not I listen, Michelle, if you're listening, I love you, God bless you, eh, I do not want to go through what you're having to go through. Michelle lives that hard life that I used to live in the country of Kentucky, where where's your water coming from? Where's your electric coming from? Where's your is there a hole in the roof? Is there critters coming in the floor? I get that. That's not necessarily a choice. Can't always get out. People go, "Why don't you just move?" A hole, why don't you just move? It's not that easy. You deal with what you gotta deal with, and that's there are folks all over the country right now in the same situation. Like, there's thousands of us jumping on this one family, giving them a hard way to go. And I haven't even mentioned I kinda tried to leave out of it, but if you don't know about this situation, if you were just listening 'cause you listen to me and you don't know about all this, there's a little girl involved too, and she's a doll baby, and you know, if you know who I am as a person in real life, you would take everything I have, load up a truckload and take it. But I think that would do more harm to this family than good because then they'd have to deal with the backlash of me involved in their shit more. And isn't that stupid that that would cause problems for them? It is. It's stupid. So, and the answer is why am I involved? You bet me. You know. I really appreciate you taking the time to be there. And I'm gonna do this again. I'm brave. I might need a cocktail next time to get started, and I don't wanna know how many ums I really said, but I hope to find my YouTube family. I guess that's how I do it. So, would you got another video for me? Suggested name for this is a cup and a bowl. What do you get it? Thanks for watching, YouTube family. Thanks for being a joiner today. I really hope to see you on my next live or my next video. Talk to you then. Bye.